Hey everybody, welcome back. You're gonna have to forgive my voice for a second. We're just waiting on the coffee to hit. It's 8:11 a.m. on a Saturday. I went out for coffee this morning. And then when I got out, I said, hey, it looks a little hazy outside. What's the air quality? Apparently my city has the worst recorded air quality on planet Earth right now. So, you know, maybe there's two reasons for it, but I think it's mostly just a little bit of tiredness, a little bit of caffeine, waiting to hit the bloodstream, getting the diaphragm pumping again. You can feel it. It's getting warmed up already. Regular forgotten to the lamb, and I gotta tell you, that's the wrong screen region. I gotta tell you, we got reasons for optimism. Here's one: 4 wins in a row, no big deal. Some truly special stream VODs coming, and then also we are now missing merely one item. Let me get my fan going here. One second. There you go. It's a little much. We're gonna turn it down. The thing about this one is that it goes to 11. It's one more than your average amp. To quote one of history's great philosophers, we're missing salvation. Forgotten lamb. Lamb means negative. Man, you're making me long for the quaint days of when I thought it was difficult just to be able to remember whether to take the Polaroid or the negative. By the way, you might be wondering, what the heck is this little circle following us? That's Bumbo. You might be familiar. He's legendary. He had his own game of Legend. That was actually pretty good. I said that in a quiet voice, which might sound like I was being disingenuous, but again, we're really just kind of waking up here. We had the long and short of it. We've had Eden's Blessing a lot lately. I got it 2 runs in a row yesterday, which was like was very nice for me. Anyway, despite it being the early morning, I'm feeling good, having a good time. Just got a bit of a busy Saturday, you know. Time flies. The baby is not quite 11 months old yet, but it's rapidly approaching. So we've started getting things in order for her first birthday, which I know, and you gotta bake in a little bit of tolerance here for cultural beliefs. Like I was talking to Kate, and I was like, no, come on, man. It's like I really want to, but I don't think that as the Forgotten, it's the right play. I think it's one of those like really, really zany pickups where you're like, oh, it's so zany, it just makes my run substantially worse. Counterfeit Penny's good. I'm trying not to fixate on the fact that I could have used it before I picked up all this stuff, but you know, you can play that game all day. We'll just get out of here, I think. But I don't really remember a birthday party that I'm trying to think. I definitely remember some in the single digits. The first birthday that I really have like a strong memory of is when I was 10. My parents were like, what do you want to eat for your birthday? And I said straight up, no hesitation, chicken fingers. And that was to celebrate 1 decade of being alive on planet Earth. We bought some frozen chicken fingers from the grocery store and cooked them in the toaster oven. And you know what? I had a great day. I remember it to this day. It's not to say that all of my, birthdays were, somewhat, I don't want to say dubious, but, reserved. I remember there was one where, my friends and I, we all went to, like, the local, like, concrete basketball park, and we played a bunch of roller hockey. That was a good time. I do remember one where I received 2 of the same pre-made Pokémon card deck. It was the Poison Grass deck. I remember that vividly. But for the most part, I mean, I think it depends, maybe not even, like, culturally as much as, like, what the kind of family you grew up in. Like, in my family, birthdays are not that big of a deal. My parents don't really care, at least that's my That's the way I've honed in on it. I hope that's the case, because that's the assumption I've been operating under for, like, you know, 32 years. Don't want to talk to my mom and ever be like, oh, actually, like, birthdays are the most important thing in the world to me, but who knows, you know? I mean, I think I know more than anybody watching this. But regardless, you know, and that kind of, like, you know, came over to me as a kid. You might think it's revisionist history, but as a teenager even, I never put that much stake in my birthday. I never even, and I'm sure this is, it's not typical of, like, the media portrayal of what, like, a 16-year-old kid is like, but I think this is actually, like, pretty relevant for a lot of people watching this. I even at 16, I didn't really care about getting my driver's license right away. I actually feel, like, very blessed, to be honest, that my parents were like, you might not feel like getting your driver's license now, but at some point in the future, you're going to be glad that you did. And I was. So many pills dropping here, by the way. So I really, like, you know, got the permits with nowhere to go and no means to get there, but I'm glad I have them now. Let me, by the way, I don't think we're going to use Satanic Bible yet. Well, no. I'd rather get a guaranteed boss item and then a deal with the devil that will ignore... No, okay. To use the Satanic Bible and then ignore the devil deal that pops up afterwards. I like this. God, it's just such a, like, a garbage item, man. It's just such a garbage item. So here's what I'm gonna do temporarily, okay? I'm gonna grab this swallowed penny. We got no time limit today except, like, my own. But anyway, long and short, I baked that in because, you know, I feel like there's the idea that, like, oh, you know, it's a baby's first birthday party. They aren't gonna remember it. Like, what's the big deal? Well, in Korean culture, I think it's called dol. Go ahead and take that. I didn't think that would take my bone heart. I'm just being straight up with you. I thought that would, I thought it would take the heart behind it, but that makes sense. You know what? I knew it. I don't know. I just had a feeling. So dole is actually like a big, it's a big deal. You, and this is not a joke, there's something called, and I might have my vernacular slightly messed up here, but there's something called a doljebi, which is like, you place the infant on a chair with a table in front of them that has a number of objects that represent, like, where their life could go. You know, like a string to represent, like, a long life, or, you know, there's something to represent health, and something to represent money, and then you can also, like, if the parents, let's say, you know, were, like, doctors, the doctors might feel like putting, and this is, like, fairly common. You would put, like, a stethoscope out there or something, maybe, and then you kind of, like, let the baby loose, and they get to choose whatever they want to choose, and that's supposed to be, like, you know, an omen, let's say. And I think I'm just gonna get out of here. I don't think we're gonna be able to play. Let's go check the shop real quick. Maybe. You never know. Losing the bone heart, that rattled me to my core, but we still got a great run going here. So it's symbolic, and no, it's not for the baby. It's for the, you know, the family, not just the parents, but also substantially. We can't know that until we get it, huh? For the you know, extended family in particular. Or not even extended family in this case, but just, like, you know, the grandparents and so on and so forth. Please, Angel, like, you, Red Heart, okay, good enough, because the bomb's gonna help us out quite a lot. I'm hoping we can eke something out of this. So we're setting up for that, and, you know, that means that actually this morning, like, bright and early, and this should be exciting for you as well. Maybe we'll get a legendary picture out of it, but I have to get fitted for a traditional Korean outfit called a hanbok, which is kind of like, it's maybe analogous if you're not familiar with Korean, you know, history and culture. It's kind of analogous to the kimono, but also, you know, it's unisex, or rather, there's like male Hanbok and female Hanbok. So I'm sure that, like, for me, the photo is gonna look absolutely ridiculous, but in that way, I'm also kind of looking forward to it. It should be weird. Random dice room effect. Okay. I'm willing to go for this, man. I'm not scared. Let's do it in the boss room, and maybe if we get like a 4 room, it'll re-roll this terrible devil deal. It's exactly how that went down. Can you believe it? And then it gave us an item that was certainly worthy of using. I'm realizing, by the way, I'm like, you know, you could play the... And I apologize, this is not the most efficient way to do this, but usually in doing this, you kind of set yourself up for, you know, greatness in the future. But why not use the spirit to play one of these? Oh, because you have to do 2 more waves minimum for something. Okay, well, that's... I think we did our best there. And Satanic Bible should get us out of a jam here. But anyway, that's like... that's what we got going on the horizon here. Even though it's still a month and a half away, we got that stuff in order, which should be fun. Yeah, take me down. We're not having, like, our in-laws, or which is a weird statement to say. I always say our in-laws. What I mean is, like, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law. I think colloquially, in-laws are usually... This guy can fly, huh? He must have had some Red Bull. Red Bull gives you wings. That's an incredible item there. I'm still just... I'm on a high right now that we managed to use the dice room... exactly as predicted in order to get an item that actually has quite a lot of merit, quite frankly. But like we saw photos of their doll, or the doll that they had for their first child, and their second, to be honest. But the first one was like, and I can relate to this, but the first one was like they went way over the top. I think they rented out like the banquet hall at a golf course, the way you would for a wedding or something like that. You know, invited. It looked to me that there were realistically probably 50 to 100 people there, which to me seems like the largest number of people that have ever been in one location in my life, but obviously that's not the case. Kind of wish we took soy milk now, because rubber cement's really good, but, you know, how are you supposed to know, right? How are you supposed to know? I was just going to say I prefer if you don't take the money, but if there's not much money to go around, then so be it. We definitely want to try to get the pentagram. We're having like 8 people, I don't know, maybe 9. I'm trying to think of like how it's going to go. It's literally like me, Kate, the baby, both sets of parents, and then my brother-in-law and sister-in-law. But even then, you know, it's I don't know where you rent you know, the kind of furnishings that you need in order to set up a traditional Korean 1-year-old's birthday party. Look, I'm not really complaining, because Kate is literally handling all of it, and it's going to make for some cute photos. It really puts it into perspective, though, because every photo of me before the age of... I don't even know, like, I don't know, before, like, my senior year of high school, every photo of me that exists, especially as a child, took place in one of 2 possible locations, you know? One of them was school picture day, with the sweet laser background behind me, or alternatively, the books. Did you ever have the books done? I think we probably do want this, right? It basically pays for itself. I wonder if we get the invincibility as the spirit right away. I oftentimes got the books, because, you know, when you're a scholastically minded 4th grader, there's no more suitable picture background than a bunch of, like, airbrushed books on a synthetic shelf behind you. The other place that these photos happened in, the other setting, and say it with me if you're familiar with it, Sears Photo Studio. Very, like, some of my most, you know, prominent memories from being under the age of 12, me, my parents, my uncles and my aunts, all my cousins, which is not that many. There's only, like, you know, 6 of us or something like that. But posted up in the Sears photo studio, just, you know, waiting to go into that hot, sweaty room. Have them be like, all right, now look here, okay, look up, hey, no blinking, look up. I gotta say, you know, if you have ever worked in photography and that requires you in particular to take photos of, you know, a group of children, you deserve hazard pay, in my opinion. Like, not like you're actually it's more insidious than, like, you know, if you're a firefighter or something like that. A, you have my respect, obviously, but B, the risks of your job are imminent and apparent, right? The fire, the smoke, the heat, etc., etc. If you're a children's photographer at the Sears photo studio, I think it's one of those things where, like, the compounding effects of its toll on your brain don't appear until later in life, and then, you know, people are gonna see you and be like, oh no, what happened to them? And they're gonna be like, classic case of, you know, 7 years in the Sears children's photo studio. I think it has an affect. Okay, we should probably just get... I don't know, maybe we shouldn't get Bumbo popping up. Maybe I should take some of this money. This is not the right way to do this. Like, this is actually fairly dangerous. But the flip side is that it's also fairly fun. And as long as those are proportional, I'm happy. In fact, what we should have done, quite obviously, is not use the blood bag until we had gotten down as low as possible on the other blood bank. But, you know, life goes on. Hey, Soul of Lilith. Again, I think this is a great indicator of Soul of Lilith actually being terrible. But I know that I don't think the world is ready to hear that yet. Love this room, by the way. Terrible's not the right word, because it does give you a free item. But it's much... You know what it is? It's like the chest on, let's go. On the home fight. Like, I feel like I never... I'm always like, Mom's knife, and then it's like, you know, you get nothing. We got Mom's wig last time, which was pretty good, but was it? I think it was. I don't know. I don't have a lot of memory of that fight, because I purged it from my brain, because it took 25 minutes. This run, on the other hand, so far so good. So anyway, that's my weekend plan. It's gonna be a bit of a busier weekend, but that's okay. Lover's card. I know you might be interested to say, you know, like, NL. Have you... The most important question, and many people are asking this. Have you watched any more of the Scary movies? Well, I finally finished Scary Movie 2 last night, which is, again, it's a weird movie for me to watch, because I've seen it probably 30 times as a child. Please. It is essentially... I mean, it's not the finest that the franchise has to offer. And it's also not the finest franchise that has offerings to begin with. So it's really like, it's... You know, you're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel with... stupid frickin' damage, man. And then you have the audacity to take my coin from me? My sandwich? I don't know, but here's what's basically happened, okay? When I have a little bit of free time, and it does happen, I'm not gonna say that it never happens. Usually, you know, I get time to sneak in, you know, maybe like 1 to 2 Slay the Spire runs, and that's how I can tell that, you know, the game's got its claws in me again. The Fool. I don't think I've ever used it properly. I think if you have, like, a lot of bombs... I don't think I got hit there, just IMO, but... I think if you have a lot of bombs or a lot of money, then it's a great drop. Otherwise, I don't think it matters at all. Maybe we should just use it and see, you know? Taking a lot of pretty stupid damage here. Let me look at this, okay? Okay, it's not... actually, you know what? It's actually... We managed to get Bumbo fed, which is okay. It doesn't look that bad. We did lose all our money, but we lost it to Bumbo. Okay, I mean, this was in the spirit, really, of trying to figure out if, you know, maybe there's a value in this. And sure, now I thought of one that didn't pop to the top of mind earlier. If you have Bumbo, dropping your existing currency to get Bumbo fed is kind of a nice bonus, I'd say. I mean, you got him, man. And that's pretty much like, I think this is how the Forgotten is played. You just use, you use the spirit as like a deal with the devil justifier. But anyway, I finished Scary Movie 2. My review of Scary Movie 2, I mean, there's some stuff in that movie, man. Like, I don't even mean like, oh, it's offensive. I just mean like it's humorless. You gotta wonder, man. Like, as a youngster, and well, as a teenager and a young adult, David Cross, one of my favorite stand-up comedians. You know, I've been a fan of Mr. Show for a long time. I think it's definitely just played that incorrectly, but it's a very funny sketch show. Inconsistent, yes, but so is every sketch show that's ever existed. And has some really high highs. What am I doing, man? You gotta start using your brain here. Oh, that's... Oh, did you say Hierophant question mark spawn 2 bone hearts? That's beautiful. But I was also a huge fan of David Cross's stand-up comedy. And it's one of those things where, like, seeing him in something like Scary Movie 2, I think the first thing you think is that, like, you know, you lose some respect. And then I remember that when David Cross was in Alvin and the Chipmunks as Ian, I believe, but possibly hilariously his most famous role. He gave an interview, I forget, it was on one of the late night shows. I'm gonna hope that it was Craig Ferguson, the most respectable, along with Conan. But anyway, and the interview was something like, you know, it just is like annoying to me when people say that I like sold out by being in the Alvin and the Chipmunks movie, because it's like a movie that's literally just for children. So like if you're a fan of mine, like yeah, I mean, he stopped a little bit short of saying like you basically just should not come see the movie, but I think that's fair. Like, you know, if you're a fan of an acerbic, like markedly controversial anti-George W. Bush stand-up comedian, are you really gonna be like, oh, you know what? It just annoys me that he's leveraging his fame as a stand-up comedian to promote Alvin and the Chipmunks. Like, nah, man, this movie's for like 8-year-olds. So I mean, I feel like the era that I grew up in, people were very anti-sellout, you know? It was like the worst thing in the world if you sold out. And really, what the definition of selling out was literally just either being in something with mass commercial appeal or literally selling, like, you know, your song to a commercial or something like that is the other alternative. I feel I might be wrong, but I genuinely feel like maybe the attitude has shifted a little bit to where most of the time I feel like people look at stuff like that and they say, hey, my favorite, you know, artist or actor is in a movie that, you know, probably doesn't appeal to me all that much, but on the other hand is going to make, you know, probably is going to pay them quite handsomely. That's okay. I don't know if everybody's on the same page there, but like, that's where I'm at now. I mean, you know, when I was 15, if you presented me with the thought experiment, I'd be like, nah, man, I'd never do Alvin and the Chipmunks. Why would I do Alvin and the Chipmunks when instead I could just do, you know, I Heart Huckabees 3? No, I got it. Okay. Now that I'm a little older, and not even just for like the financial reason, but now that I'm a little older, I'm like, man, I bet the Scary Movie 2 set was a lot of fun. Well, I don't know if that's true, because Tori Spelling apparently did not have a great time on the set of the film. I wasn't there. I was 12 years old at the time. Not invited to Scary Movie 2 or any of the scary movies, really. But I you know, there's bad movies where I'm sure the production was actually like Another Soul of Lazarus, really? There's bad movies where I'm sure the production was fun. Oh, this is sick, man. I didn't know Active Contrition. I mean, it makes perfect sense when you think of the name, but I didn't know Active Contrition can let you take angel deals when a devil deal had already been taken. That's kind of neat. Similarly, I bet a lot of really, really great movies were actually, like, completely joyless to be a part of. You don't think so? Take me down. You don't think, like, you're on the set of, you know, Phantom Thread with Daniel Day-Lewis and he spends literally 100% of the time, like, you know, in character as the dress designer? Like, hey, Daniel, want to go out to lunch? I do decree this. There's a longing in my gut. You know, you're like, come on, man. You're like a normal guy at some point in your life. Can you just, like, be normal for half an hour while we get, like, like a quesadilla or something? Oh, what a terrible... My penance... I need my own Active Contrition. Anyway. I bet the Scary Movie set, Scary Movie 2 specifically, was not like that. I bet there was a lot of, like, you know, people looking at each other going... You know, I'm pretty sure that this is probably not gonna vault me to superstardom. But I bet they had some laughs on the set. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So I guess I've become the guy who is just like lost control of his life in some ways, because I find myself now 15 minutes into Scary Movie 3. Then I fell asleep, but I will, you have my word, though. I will begin my pursuit of that. You know, if I can watch half an hour of a movie a night before bed, then, you know, it's amazing the amount of idiocy you can expose yourself to, the amount of absolutely mind-numbing nonsense that you can gain access to. So Book of Virtues is sick, man. We probably should have used it with every single book that existed here, but obviously we'll just continue to hold Satanic Bible. I'm assuming that we get some awesome wisps out of Satanic Bible, maybe? The wisp appears to have given me... Oh, you know what? I bet Book of Virtues raises your devil or your angel chance, huh? And maybe... let's be honest, like, this is not the ideal character to play Eddie Rooms with to begin with, but I am still hoping that at some point we manage to make it work. Because, like, a free angel deal, or even just teleporting to an angel or devil deal that you wouldn't have otherwise gotten access to, like, that's a pretty considerable benefit. What the heck is this, man? Free lemonade. Yeah, sweet lemonade? I think we need one more half red heart before we can play that first spike, even. Anyway, this run's looking amazing. And it feels like it's been kind of like a long time since I had a run where I could just... Well, actually, never mind. It was when we had that Apollyon run. I looked at that run and said, pretty much, this one's guaranteed. And that's kind of how I feel about this. Sometimes the Forgotten sneaks up on you, but that's kind of how I feel about this one right now. So yeah, instead of doing anything, or watching maybe anything that would be respectable, I continue to watch the scary movies. They'll be done eventually, and then I'll get on to, you know, Chinatown or whatever, but for now, increased angel deal chance. If you take a bone heart, you take a bone heart. Okay, so we can actually scam it with a half heart, huh? It's good to know. No random chest. Knowing that you can scam it with a half heart, that's actually, like, that's critical knowledge. Oh, that's a full heart, though. It's okay. We're really just trying to see, you know, it's place 7 that's the big one. This is the best part of the item description mod, by the way. I'll sack a bone. I won't sack a Bone Heart. I'll do it this way. Glyph of Balance, which is actually Angelic Prism. I think we want to keep going. Like, well, this... So technically we haven't lost anything necessarily. This is Angel Boss, who we don't need to fight, but I'm gonna anyway because we're here. I really don't sweat the... Oh, well, maybe we did need to fight. I really don't sweat, like, where we're at on this one, just because, Satanic Bible is, like, such a good defense item. I don't know why I'm constantly justifying it, like, there's a considerable chance we're gonna die. Like, HP has been... It's been showing up. Nothing. But yeah, maybe Buried is the lead in there. I have indeed been playing a little bit. Just a teensy tiny, like, when I get the chance... Playing a little bit of Slay the Spire Ascension. Not as the Watcher. I wouldn't want to screw up the YouTube series. But having a great time regardless. And you know what it is? It's from the fires of Pokemon Unite. I finally... And again, I laugh every... Because this is like the exact way that I called it. Now, admittedly, it's not really a fair assessment because I'm in control of it. But when people are like, you know, Pokemon Unite, pretty soon you're going to be playing Dota again. And I was like, I don't think so, because as soon as I stop having fun with something and see it as like a negative quality of life, I'm pretty quick to get out. And then, you know, 2 Pokemon Unite streams ago, I busted off like an 85% win rate, ranked up heavily, had a great time, was laughing. I was saying ha 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 over and over. Then, on Tuesday, or on Wednesday, I should say, played some Pokemon Unite. Probably 40% win rate. Had a miserable time and said, I'm never playing this again. And, from the ashes of that, I play a game in my leisure time now that actually, is fun. No offense to Pokemon Unite. It's not even like, I think Pokemon Unite is a good game. It's just the MOBA curse. Is quite frankly... speaking what it is. It's just any, and it's not even a MOBA curse, actually. It's just any game will make you mad. Any game where you want to win and you play against other people will make you mad. A MOBA will expose you to your teammates, and you will start to lose faith in humanity if you haven't already lost it over the course of, you know, the intervening 18 months or so. Same thing, you know, with something like Overwatch. You know, everybody on Overwatch, from what I can tell, you know, there's 2 sources for anger. One of them is your teammates. The other one is Blizzard and the Balance team, you know? So I think that just inevitably there's a little bit of anger involved in games like this. And I think that to some extent, it's almost like a little bit unavoidable. However, playing something like Slay the Spire, man, I'm like, there's some avoidability there, simply because when I lose, I'm only mad at myself. Like, I think that the game that you choose, if you play games in your downtime, it allows you to control the target of your derision. Wow. So I'll use Magic Skin once. I actually really like this item. You know we're gonna see Magic Skin again. But I do like that item. Once you see it, it doesn't go away. It shows up forever. Yes, okay, you want me to make the joke? Like herpes simplex too. Okay, yes, look. Who amongst us? The only thing separating the beset with cold sores with the not beset with cold sores is who you happen to share soda cans with when you were in daycare in, like, you know, 2nd grade. Let those of us without sharing soda cans back in the day cast the first stone. Stop is no more spacebar items, right? Very low chance for spacebar items. That's amazing. Maybe we won't see Magic Skin anymore, he said naively, forgetting all of his learned experience with the game. Maybe we'll I don't know. Maybe we won't. Maybe at this point, we can pretty much just rush it down, I think. I mean, we have an unbelievably strong run. What was I thought I was on it. Oh, I was talking about how I quit Pokemon Unite. Yeah. I don't know. I think people just have a weird attitude about stuff like that. It's been like 8 years since I played Dota, and people will be like, "You'll be back," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, I think it's different if you have like a literal, you know, psychological or chemical dependence on something. Like, you know, I certainly don't think that quitting a MOBA is akin to, you know, like getting sober or something like that. Hold on. I'm willing to use this, okay? And if it soft locks us, because it shouldn't. It only soft locks when you get to the Mausoleum Mom, right? Mausoleum Mom would be a couple of floors ago. Well, a floor ago, I think, more literally. But I'm willing to do it. This just took us to the same boss. Like, I'm just surprised by the number of people who are like, it's impossible. I'm like, actually, it's really easy. What you do is you look at how much you just watch back 15 minutes of a stream of you playing this game, and if you laugh or smile once, you may consider playing it in the future. If exclusively all you do is like rag on your teammates and don't make like don't have a single perceived instance of having a good time, then maybe it's time to move on. And that's where I'm at with Pokemon Unite. It could have been so different, Tencent, if you had just put Blastoise in the game 2 days or months before he was ready. If you had just put Blastoise in the game, I could have been very happily pumping my Hydros. And yet you've disrespected me. Oh, we can't even enter that way. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Instead, I'm playing Slay the Spire and having a great time. But I know that part of the reason I'm having a great time is because I've already paid the toll of, like, learning how to be half decent at the game. And I know that sounds like... I mean, you can't win, right? When you say you're half decent at the game, you either get people going, half decent, like you won Ascension 20. Or you get people that are like, half decent, lol, it took you so long to beat Ascension 20. Both of which are true, and I don't know which one is the correct interpretation. But I'm not on Ascension 20 right now. I'm on like Ascension 9 or something like that. So occasionally I face a little bit of friction, but for the most part I can just take whatever I want, win, and then be like, ha 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 ha. But I know the day of reckoning is going to come, where I will get back to those higher level ascensions and be like, I will become back my money. You know what? Gotta take advantage of the spirit. I use the spirit like way less often than I should. I just love melee. I mean, if you saw my character tier list, you know I have a bias in favor of melee, and I stand by that. I stand by it as a genuine bias. I think confessionals do be kind of stinky sometimes. I'm not necessarily a believer in the... Oh, come on. I'm not necessarily a believer in the confessional style. Do you think we can actually get a beam? Oh, what? What the heck was that? Okay, sure. I don't know. You think it's our Wisp that's shooting that? They won't even let me like leave, man. Please. Oh, now they'll let me leave. Yeah, I'm taking it, okay? You got a problem? You got an issue? Here's a tissue. I think the only way I'll use it is if I manage to use it on a secret room. The secret room pool is, at this point, you know, probably the most interesting one. At many points it is. The only other situation is maybe if I could somehow save it to use it on like a sack room that gives us an angel room, because the only item we're missing in the game is salvation. Which is an item, weirdly, that I've had before. But only on challenges. So that feels like our secret room. Dude, it's a very strange kind of pseudo synergy that we got going on here, but I respect it. I like it. It's doing good work. Nice try. We could use it on a curse room, but I'm a secret room believer, honestly. Not in all situations, but in this one for certain. Okay, you know what? You got me. I forgot we had the wafer too. Like essentially, we kind of have double the HP. It looks like we do. Cursed Eye. After all that, man. And that one, that'll burn you up. Because, like, there's just... It kind of looks cool when you take it. What? Yo, okay. Life comes at you fast, man. Okay, so this is salvation. Is literally the last item we needed for Dead God. After all that... After all the grinding, Tainted Lost, Tainted Jacob, you get the last item you need for the game. What does it give you? Little 3-second pop-up. Dead God! And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. The real reward was doing it in the first place. But, yeah, okay, that's exciting. I think Salvation's pretty good, too. I don't know if we'll... find ourselves in a great position to take advantage of it necessarily. But basically, we have this circle around us. It looks like one of Pamela Anderson's arm tattoos. And we would know because she's very prevalent at the start of Scary Movie 3. So is Jenny McCarthy, but you know, let's save that controversial topic for every other day. Don't take my bone heart. Every time we get hit, it gets larger. When it makes contact with an enemy, it initiates the protocol to, thank you, to hit them with a beam of light. And if it channels all the way, they get hit by it. I want to try something. Really smart. Okay, so, yeah, no, it totally worked. I don't really like Eye of the Keeper either. And we now do have Cursed Eye, which is, you know... quite spicy, but also a little fun. As we go back for Satanic Bible, I think. I don't know, maybe... I mean, Magic Skin is, like, pretty dangerous. Maybe Satanic Bible, because it'll allow us to get those, deals with the devil from the start of the lamb fight. Or the lamb floor, I should say. But either way... What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Dead God, man, that's exciting. If the video didn't already have some justified existence, now it does. That's for certain. So just remember, I mean, there was a time when I actually thought that Cursed Eye was a good item. And we've come a long way since then. But the only reason I really bring it up is because there was a time where I just worked with it, you know? I was probably wrong at the time. But there was a time where I said, you know what? We'll just make this item work for us. And did it always work? No, I seem to remember many situations where we teleported out of, like, difficult boss fights, and we're relatively annoyed by that. But using an active item re-rolls it. It's such an interesting spacebar or trinket, but we just can't make it work here. We need the Satanic Bible. Magic Skin, let me guess. Magic Skin, let me guess. Magic Skin and Magic Skin. So, being able to re-roll active items doesn't seem so bad now, does it? Okay, I don't mind. I actually, like, I hesitate to say this, okay? Because I actually do like Magic Skin. I feel like it would be beneficial if they toned down the spawn rate just a little bit, like once you've already had it. This is just chaos, man. Because it is, like... It's a little much, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Once you have it, you're like, well, I might as well do something with it because this is going to be the dominant theme for, like, the rest of this run. Getting a bit touchy here, huh? Also, except for that, some of the strongest dodges, like, I've made in my entire life. Especially considering I was tethered. That felt good. Oh, hey, look at that. We can actually pick it up. Maybe we can use that with magic skin. I don't know why, and I think it speaks to a fundamental problem in my brain. But whenever I get magic skin, and I apologize for this little brainworm, because I think it will infect many. But because I grew up maybe in the mid-90s to mid-2000s, and this was a very pivotal show back in the day, anytime I get magic skin, all I hear is, you might get baked into a pie on the magic skin bus. Rock a river of lava on the magic skin bus. Pop a seed and don't be shy, come on. Just to make your day complete. You might get baked into a pie. I don't know why it's magic skin bus, I guess because it's magic skin, but... Watched a lot of Magic School Bus as a kid, man. Have they done a gritty reboot of that yet? One of my favorite games when I was like mid-single-digit ages, or age, I should say. In fact, now that I think about it, I bet it was probably like the first game I ever owned on CD-ROM. Was a Magic School Bus like point-and-click adventure game where they, hey, a real item. Where they went to outer space. I believe that's the episode where Arnold takes off his helmet and frickin' dies, which was, I mean, I'll say it, okay? Millennials, we try to steal valor sometimes. People, like, my age will be like, that traumatized me as a kid. I'm like, no, it didn't. I was talking with you on the schoolyard about it. We were like, that owned. Well, that word didn't exist then. We were like, that was tubular. That was radical. Now we're like, I was traumatized. I've never been able to look at Saturn the same way ever since. Yo, thank you to Little Horn. Alright, I think it's pretty important. The number one thing here is just don't teleport out. Because teleporting already is annoying. Then teleporting out and possibly finding yourself like several rooms back is just, I mean, it's a morale crusher for sure. We're pretty lucky actually, like, I don't know why I use that now that I think about it, but we actually charge up Cursed Eye super quickly. It's just Revelations takes a little longer, and you know, it just feels like a nice rule of thumb to send them out there at the same time. What a good run we had today, and if you'll excuse me, I mean, I definitely want to take a look at, ooh, baby! He's done it. Well, good run this morning here to get us set up. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. There's only 5 scary movies, so if you got anything that's in the same vein, after that, I gotta take a look. But for now, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button, helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, I'll see you next time. See ya!